This is TAOTalks. T-A-O, the art of Tao. TAOTalks, the art of exploring life. TAOTalks, the art of being. TAOTalks, philosophical musing. TAOTalks, ancient wisdom for modern beings. TAOTalks, the art of understanding. TAOTalks, universal laws. TAOTalks, timeless insights. Welcome to TAOTalks. T-A-O, the art of.
How's it going, Jesse?
It's going great, man.
You
How
look
are
like
you?
you were running a little bit.
There's a lot going on. So juggling cats is kind of the, how it works over here sometimes.
You didn't get cats. That's
No,
an
but
expression.
Imagine you're trying to juggle cats and they all got their claws out and trying to grab onto you. And it's like, it's a fun little game.
Yeah, nice. Some heat advisories. I've been getting those texts. Is it all
It's
that bad,
definitely
or
warm.
did you say that? Yeah, I
It's
feel like we got those often. I
it's
said we, as in
interesting.
like I still live there. It's funny.
It's interesting that I feel like because the technology has improved so much that they overutilize. Now I get text warnings for everything.
It lessens.
It's Texas. It's not really like Texas hot yet, but we're getting heat. I mean, yesterday was like super humid, so it was very muggy. So it's definitely, if you're outside and the exposure, I'm sure it's a good thing to get the warning. But for those of us who've lived here for a long time, it's like, if you're not like, this is just
normal.
summer.
Yeah, summer. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, things are good for me. Just kind of finished up work today, and I had this kind of pending on my to-do. I was like, I need to do this. And so I'm glad we got to kind of do this ad hoc. Things are good. It's warm here though as well. Not super hot, but it's warm, sunny, humid.
I can see you're in a new digs, got a new space that things are still on the floor, not quite on the wall yet.
Yeah. Definitely. I think we're like less than a month. Like we're still under the month mark since we moved here. So it's been great. It's been great. Our move went well. I mean, last time we talked, we hadn't moved to New York yet. So Memorial Day weekend was when we made the move. So we had all the stuff shipped in like the pod like situation, and so we kind of downsized as much as we could, got rid of all of our plants because they were not gonna make the 10 to 11 day timeline that they usually give. And then we drove up with our stuff in the car, just essentials. But it went pretty smooth. I feel really proud of like how we handled it. Like my family, just my partner and I and the dog, because we had a lot of choices at our hand. So we had to like decide, lots of decisions to be made. And I remember kind of leaving Austin in the car, and I just remember feeling like pride for how we handled things, because we were on the move. Our stuff was like packed up and locked away in like a little container, and we had like the tracker in there. So we're like just checking. We're like, oh, is it going to move with us? What's happening here? But there's like excitement of that. And then there's like a moment that we just had like the essentials that we could fit in the car, but relatively like the container came to us relatively quickly as well. So it was basically like I think it was less than a week of just not having all of our stuff. So it's exciting. I mean, it kind of feels like far away, but it was pretty recent. And we're still setting up stuff here. Like we have the kitchen set up, we have our bedroom set up, and slowly starting to set up the offices, living rooms, TBD still, dining room we set up, everything new. So it's keeping us busy. I think it's only last weekend was when we were like kind of like, okay, we can just have a little breather, because before that it was like just trips, like IKEA trips or like all these things,
Those are definitely fun times. I'm just to be able to. It's one thing to do that alone. It's another thing to do that with a partner. New adventure, going into something brand new.
She's loving it so far.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Is she able to transition her work to where you're at?
Yeah, she works remote, so that doesn't impact her stuff all that much. And she has her own little room here as well, and so I think she's really like enjoying making it her own. Because at the previous spot, I had the office space, and she didn't really have like a dedicated space. She was like kind of floating and things like that, and just working in the home. But she's been really like enjoying making that space hers, and like enjoying having that dedicated area for her, and the importance of it. So I'm glad that we didn't really intend like that, like as like that's a must have or whatever, but we're just glad that it worked out that way. And We feel happy with where we're staying. The feeling that both her and I have been feeling a lot more of just living here has been like the word like awe comes to our mind like just a lot, because we have views like all the time from waking up till at night. Can't escape it at all. And part of it definitely feels like a dream, like what just happened to us kind of situation, because it's not all orchestrated. It wasn't like, oh, like we were working up towards this and then we have attained this thing. Like, so there was like this element of putting in trust and then letting things kind of come to us, letting the universe also like just show us what's in our timeline, I guess. And so then like that's where the word awe comes from too, because it's like, I don't know, like I just, it's kind of a strange feeling for me, because I've like worked towards stuff, and I mean I still do, but I've operated from like a sense of control quite a lot before, where it's like, oh, I do this, like I gotta like map it out, and that's how I like I get to this. And definitely I can like look back on everything that's happened that's led me to be here. It definitely is valuable too, because otherwise I wouldn't be at the place that I'm in. But there's this completely different notion of this where it's like, oh, but I didn't really ever like imagine this specificity of things, and like look how beautiful like it is. It's a little bit of a letting go that I was kind of forced to do, and it just feels incredible to be in the appreciative moment of the fruits that I'm getting right now.
I have what you're talking about brings up a lot of different things. Some conversations I've had with Lorna just earlier today. Letting go, and then the kind of the great orchestration of it. Letting go is like, you know, what does that metaphorically mean? Like, what is the metaphor of letting go? My head at the moment just kind of wants to stick to the compost metaphor. Because you got to break down, and what is breaking down if it's not a letting go of bonds, letting go of things that were formerly attached. They break down into smaller pieces, and they go, once they're free to then rebuild and build something new. So letting go is kind of the first part of the story of creation. But you know, letting go is one of the hardest things to do. So it's like the ability to let go is so, you know, the thing that kind of holds us tight is generally fear of that unknown, being able to let go and then trust whatever is going to happen. The unfolding we're going to find the parts that we need to bond to create something new. And when that is, that process can be either unconscious or conscious. And the more we're able to bring conscious intention into it, I think the more, maybe there's just more meaning in what comes out of it, what gets unfolded, because we get to put a little bit into that intention of what ultimately comes out, even if we don't have a lot of control of what the actual end product is.
Yeah, there is like this saying that I heard from like the internet, and it's like it resonates a lot with me right now, which is like basically it's like saying that if things go your way, like that's great. If things don't go your way, that's even better. And like it just truly like I think my experience is I'm able to like really relate to that experientially at the moment. And I think the letting go, but it also allows me to be, because I can kind of just be in the present, and I don't know what tomorrow is going to look like. I don't know what, and neither did I know that in January of this year, this was what was going to look like, right? And yeah, like life is lifing. So like there is that trust in just being part of things. Any plans for the weekend?
For the weekend, well, I guess this weekend's Father's Day weekend, so we're doing a little family get together on Saturday as opposed to Sunday. I just did a full week of basketball camp, summer basketball camp for the school, for middle school and high school. So Monday through Thursday this week. So I had that all this week. So a little bit of this weekend is going to be recovery, just because there's a lot of time on the basketball court. So I got that. Lorna has started a lease for a studio at a kind of an art collective, a place called ATX. Austin Art Hub. It's ATX Art Hub. It's this old law firm building that's been converted to be a bunch of studios for artists across the spectrum of art: tattoo artists, sculptors, painters, video, animation, all kinds of stuff. So it's cool cool little spot. So she rented out a studio. So we've been working on that over the past several weeks, getting the space set up. So we got a little bit more. She's actually working in there now. We got it set up, but there's still a little tinkering left to get it exactly the way she wants it. So we're working on that, and then I'm working on trying to get back to working on the book and the blogs.
Yeah.
So
I
those things kind of occupy in the weekend.
Yeah, it's been so busy. Like for me also, like with getting the home set up and work and stuff. Like I've been missing out on some of my hobbies. Like I'm like playing music, practicing that every day. But other than that, like the writing and stuff like that, I kind of miss that. I'm just starting to pick back up on like just journaling a little bit, and then moving also like it's kind of falling off of that wagon a little bit. It's like coming up as a need-based thing rather than like a proactive, let's eat salad every day kind of thing. And climbing, missing climbing too. Like we went out and climbed here, but it's like not built into a regular routine yet. So I want to do that.
Do they have a decent gym there?
It's all right. It's nothing. I mean, like Austin spoils it for sure with the space and everything like that. This is just like a really old gym that's been like, I guess the ownership has been taken over by Movement like gym, which is like a chain, just like bouldering project. So I mean, it's good. They have a lot of routes. They have top roping, and it's basically like 50-50. Like it's not like majority bouldering or majority top roping. So like we want to expand out into like doing the top roping as well for us, so that like it just opens up kind of what we can do.
Yeah.
But so it's exciting, but it's definitely like hard not to compare, especially from a partner. It's just part of the missing grieving Austin thing as well right now. I don't know if you've had the chance to visit the new Crux in our area there in South. It's insane. You should check it out.
I need to go check it out. Yeah, maybe we'll make that on our list to do over the next couple of weeks. Yeah, so
I don't want to spoil anything. I'm not, but
right.
I just say like I think they also have kept something under the radar until it just opened up, and I was like, oh, this is nice. Like there's this one area where it's like, no way, like this is insane. It's pretty cool because I haven't seen that in other gyms.
Well, I may be at a point where I'm ready to switch back to a different place just for try something, try a new environment. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess this works out because it's like not too bad. Like from the area that you're in.
I love sometimes finding the little hole in the wall climbing gyms.
Mm-hmm.
But if they got top roping and bouldering, it sounds like they actually have, may not be quite as big and as ABP, but you still have like some of the old, like really they're just small, and it's hard to, the routes tend to be really, really hard because they're set for serious climbers, and it's hard to find places that are like conducive to the average climber who's not necessarily there to outcompete everybody else.
Right. It definitely leans towards that also a little bit, at least, because in the bouldering like sections and stuff, like there's not too many routes that you could like. Or I would say like it's like equal. There's like half is for like average, and then half is totally for like just it's like this is insanity here. Like
it's for Spider-Man.
Yeah, but it's got a good charm to it. It's really old. You feel it. It's like what like the ABP, like the Springdale one feels newer than like the Westgate, but it has this charm to it, and it's like kind of getting to the older like spectrum to it or whatever. This is just like exponentially more older. So like there's just chalk, like dust and all that stuff around. Like it's just it's
like caked on. It's like
yeah.
You got archaeologists going in there and finding
right. But it's good. It's you feel good. Like there's a good energy there. I've actually climbed there like on my own before we made the move and stuff, and there's like this comforting feeling that I've gotten there, and that's always a good sign. Like I think I might have been here for my interview or something, and I went and checked it out, and actually gave me a comforting feeling of like, oh, like these are my people, even though I'm like a complete stranger here.
Yeah,
there's like an archetype for like a climbing community. There's totally like something there, which is like kind of like this is climbing, like that's the climbing community. Yeah,
it's one of the things I really like about climbing is I would say there's actually multiple types of communities within the climbing community, but what I would say is at the core of climbing is relatively inclusive. Like you definitely have some groups as in all groups where people like to be a little bit more exclusive, but I find climbers, like the climbing community, to be a relatively inclusive community, which is, again, part of the reason why I enjoy climbing for the most part. I think if I have one, one of the things that I like about the small gyms, and it might be about a little bit about what you like about this particular gym, is it doesn't quite have the level of like corporate feel to it.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that, like, going back to Crux, I might enjoy going and doing because it's a different feel. ABP has gotten a little bit more corporate over the last couple of years. And I definitely feel that. A little bit of that's probably because I worked there. And so I feel it more because I was working there. But having a change of environment and I love those little old school places where it's like people are just people. They're not doing it because it's what the corporate brand has told them to do it. It's they just genuinely love climbing and they're there because of that.
Yeah. Like even people that work there and stuff like that. Like, and you see the same like groups of like folks there, and they have like the similar attitude about it. It hasn't gotten super high here, but it's gonna, and it's been interesting to be in this kind of climate as well, because it's like cools down pretty quickly at night, but then it gets hot during the day. And then we're fully doing the whole like Northeast kind of thing where our place, we don't have central AC, so we got to put in the in-window units and all that like jazz, and we got to take it off once it's winter time, and it's kind of exciting times for that. It's a little different for a little while. I've for at least last 10 or so years, I've been in central AC type situation.
Yeah. A little bit bigger space. Do you have like a yard? Do you have a garden? Anything else that you have that are a little bit different than what you had at your old space?
No, I think it's similar in that way. Like, so we have a balcony in like, indoor space, like just bigger, a little bit bigger. It's kind of on a cliff, so it's nice. There's like the views come from that, but then also like a privacy comes from that as well, where like literally like most of our windows, like I don't think anyone can see, or like there's nothing blocking that.
You sunrise or sunset view?
Sunset view. Yeah,
that's a good one to get.
Yeah. It's, and then we live basically like a 4-minute walk to the river. So there's like a whole river walk there, and there's like actually a town recreation center that I haven't checked out yet. But so they have a pool and they have like a gym there and things like that. So been meaning to check it out, tennis courts and things like that. So a lot of outdoor stuff to do right now. And then the town is kind of cool too. They have like these town-based parties and stuff like that they just block off Main Street. They had like some fair. I'm forgetting exactly what it was for. And then in a couple of weeks, there's going to be like a block party. And so it's kind of nice to like just walk places and then also like just get to know people by their names, because it's just like you just see them so often. Like there's a coffee spot. It's like, okay, like I see this person all the time. And yeah, the other day, I was going to take the car to work, and then I caught myself having this thought where I was like, I literally didn't do that because it was convenient for me to just hop on a shuttle. I was like, what is happening? This is like so different. Like it's always the most convenient to just drive like places. So that's like super new for me. Yesterday we had a Western theme party at work. It was like a summer barbecue Western theme party, and it was like way too close to feeling like Texas. It was like hot music, food, like barbecues and stuff. And it's like, man, it's like I feel like I never left.
Was there anything you want to get into today?
Honestly, nothing specific, but this is something that's like right off my mind because I'm talking about the party yesterday. There's this one person shared this perspective, and it's just been kind of stuck in my mind of fascination behind it. I'm just kind of looking at this statement from like all kinds of angles. And the statement was, kids or like people are like liberal when they're young, and then they become conservative as they age. And I'm like, wait, what is like, I've been looking at that from like all kinds of angles. I definitely see a truth in that. And I'm like, what is that? Is that like evolutionary thing? Like I don't, it's so fascinating. Something about that is just so fascinating to me. I find it to be true.
Oh, it's 100% true. It's something I've personally experienced for sure. I'm much more conservative,
like, much more conservative
stuff. Right. It's easy to make that a political statement, and it definitely shows up a little bit in politics, but I don't think that's where it originates. I think it originates as just like
risk averse, like not like there's all these. There's so many angles to this.
Well, when you're young, you don't know why something is important to keep or to preserve. And when you're young, there's the marshmallow effect. The marshmallow test. I think we've talked about that before.
Yeah, we did.
It's, when you're young, your focus is on like the present, largely because you don't have a lot of like history behind you to know to have the awareness that you may have a long history ahead of you. Like when we're young, we don't have that know-how, so we're very much focused on the immediate gratification, what's right in front of me. If I got the marshmallow, I'm going to eat it now because I might not be alive tomorrow, but I'm alive today, so I'm going to enjoy it now. Like there's not the level of, it's cognitive, it's knowledge base, it's experience, our evolution as we evolve within our own lifespan. We don't have a lot of history to draw upon to understand why the thing that we have in front of us might be worth preserving for another time. As we get older, like we have more of that history, we get more of those experiences of, I wish I would have saved that for now, or thank God I did. Thank God I have this now and I didn't waste it earlier. That knowledge, those layers of experience of going through that over and over again, you become more conscious of those things that you get as you get older. So that's just naturally more, conservation minded. It's planning for the future versus having immediate gratification. I often have
that's one angle, right? Like I feel like that's one angle, but there's like so many like viewpoints you could look at that statement from. This statement of you get conservative over time, like, and the another one is like you tend to not want to like try new things, and I kind of see that as like being conservative also. Like it could be conservative with your energy, or like, and it doesn't have to be that case, like, because I don't think that just because we like age that means we're slower or like we can't move as much or whatever. Like I don't think it's the case, but the general population, like the trend goes towards that, where like most people won't be able to like sit down and get up and that things like that.
We definitely, age is definitely a factor on how we move. There's interesting things that, as we get older, we generally get potential is that we get stronger, especially if we are active throughout our lives. There's a cumulative effect of physical activity that the more you do it starting young, it builds upon each other. So as you get older, your strength, your maximum strength, your endurance, especially endurance, increases. And so as you get older, you get stronger. But your fast twitch gets a little slower. So you also have other areas where you're also diminishing. You're not going to be as fast. You're not going to be as quick. You're not going to be able to jump as high. Right. And reflexes change. But you also have knowledge and experience and wisdom where you may not need as fast of reaction and response times because you have the wisdom and the experience to see it a little bit ahead of time. So even with your slower reactions, you're still able to be where you need to be at the right moment in the right time. So there's some interesting things that even though in some areas we continue to build and grow, we're also breaking down. Those things are happening at the same time. There's also, neuroplasticity. When we're younger, our neurology is much faster at being able to rebuild,
expand,
break down, restructure in different ways. And as we get older, we get more, that plasticity gets more hardened. Yep. And that's part of the reason why people don't like to try new things, is because it's actually very, very difficult. It's a lot harder to learn new things as you get older. I'm at an age where I recognize very easily the things that I have. It'll be useless even trying to learn that. Like I can learn it at really cursory areas, but there's no way I will ever get to any kind of level of mastery in it, skillful, at least from a skill standpoint, because I can tell, like, especially things like math and science. It's like, things on the computer on my phone. When I was in my 20s, I could have eaten that stuff up and I could have learned all kinds of new things. And now it's like, I don't even want to try. I can feel it. I can feel it as a level of like, my body's just like, I can't even do it.
So that's interesting, right? Because I think though, like, it doesn't matter how like much you age or anything. Like if you use it, you're gonna be able to retain it. If you don't use it, you're gonna lose it. So then from that point of view, like, can't you argue that like I do think that like you could learn and like you could still learn new things and like, but I know you're talking about nuances of like, oh, like I could learn it at a rudimentary level versus like becoming a master. It's just
Well,
maybe what we're saying is like it's not impossible, but like it's undeniably the truth that it will take longer, or like that trajectory is going to look completely different compared to like a 10-year-old.
I would put the nuance in. I'm going to be more conservative with my energy because I'm going to choose the things that I know I'm more capable of doing, and I'm going to be less likely to choose the things that I know are going to take. I can do this thing because I'm already a little bit exposed to it neurologically, like I know it a little bit. And to get better at it, I actually have some. I know I can see that because I have some background in it, I can learn it quick. Versus going into something brand new. Oh man, that's like 10, 15 years. Like I'd really have to devote the next. And it's like, I'm just less likely to do that. When I was 20, the idea of like, my kid just graduated high school. And what I'm telling him is like, your 20s from 18 to 30 just needs to be grow yourself, learn physically, mentally, knowledge based. Like you got to go find things and just learn and grow. So, I'm going to go do a master's course or a PhD. I'm going to spend the next 10, 15 years learning something. You can do that when you're in your 20s a lot easier than you can when you're in your 50s for a number of reasons. There's also, when you're 20, you don't have as much dragging you down. You don't have commitments to kids necessarily. You don't have commitment to a partner necessarily. Like some people do, but most people don't. My kids, when he leaves the house, he's going to have the least expenses that he will ever have for the rest of his life, right? And expenses being the cost of living, but also the cost of who he has to support other than just himself. And that will only become heavier and heavier burden on him as he gets older, so that you get to your 50s and it's like the idea of going and spending the next 10 to 15 years in doing something that's going to grow in this particular way. It's like, I'm less likely to do that. I'm more likely to stick to what I'm already kind of good at. And so that's that's more conservative place to be naturally. Yeah.
It's so fascinating to think that like that, or like, would you call that like a viewpoint? Like if you're, or like, is that an identity? I think it's an identity, right? If you say like, hey, I'm a conservative person or a liberal person, and then it's like interesting to see that like it changed. That's like you're basically going from like rightist to a leftist. Like,
yeah, I mean, it can be that. When I was younger, I was very identified with being liberal, being liberal. Not necessarily. It was definitely political, like being politically liberal, but it was also being lifestyle liberal, being more of a risk taker, being more selfish, being more self-centered, being more narcissistic in nature. Things that I don't necessarily. In hindsight, I wish I was different than that, but that's the way I was. And that's the way most 18, 20-year-olds are. Like we go from being a child and we're being pampered. The world is all about us to all of a sudden we're adults. We don't immediately transition from everybody's putting all their attention to us to now we are in the world and we have to be in service to others. It's like, no, we still want the world to be in service to us. And it takes a while to go through that. Not everybody gets to a point of being in service. A lot of people stay very narcissistic and self-centered. So it's interesting because I think back to that time, and I had a strong identification to being liberal in ways in which my behaviors were a signal to let everybody know how liberal I was.
Yeah, right.
And that would be one of the ways in which I'm more conservative now is I don't dress as outlandishly as I used to. My hair doesn't change on a regular basis. I kind of look the same throughout the year. It's pretty rare that I change the way I look or my appearance. And when I'm in certain types of company, I behave completely different than when I'm with my people. And definitely compared to when I was in my 20s, when I would have acted like a lunatic just about anybody, regardless of who they were, without any consideration to how those people might judge me for a job or for any other kind of material thing in life. So I'm much more more conservative because as I'm older, I have more consciousness I'm more empathetic to the people around me and what they think and how they feel and how my behavior impacts them, that makes me more conservative as well.
Considerate, right?
But more well, but considerate being is conservative. When you're narcissistic and selfish, you just go do something and you don't realize that you cut everybody else off, that you got to the table and first, and that you took more than your share. Like, you're just unaware of those things. Yeah. Everybody else is going, man, what a jerk. It's like, you don't even know you did it. You don't even know that you affected people in this way. So, and I was definitely like that early in my life, and I don't behave in that way. That, like, it's a very liberal thing to do, is just go and be like, I'm just going to take care of myself. I'm the only one here. So it's freedom. Yeah. True freedom. So to be considerate is to be more conservative in your nature. Now, the political thing, there's definitely areas in where I can say politically I'm more conservative, but it's not at the level of like my ideology and viewpoint. My ideology is very, very similar to when I was in my 20s. I'm still very socially liberal, and I've definitely become more, it's hard to say economically. No, I'm more economically conservative, but not in the way people tend to think about that. It's like, I haven't moved to the right. I'm more conservative in the sense of, I'm not so socially liberal that I want to spend money on everything without any idea of how all that money being spent is actually going to impact positive outcomes. Now I'm more conservative, that I want to see evidence of the positive outcomes before we throw money at it. Because there's a lot of things that we have historically thrown money at for the idea of progressivism and liberalism that I think has really hurt progressivism and liberalism, and it hasn't really helped the people it was supposed to help, and it actually has made it harder to be progressive and liberal with money. Now we're in a stage where we're more, at least ideologically, more conservative with money, although that really just means corruption, and the money's now just going into people's pockets instead of towards, we're not even talking about we're feeding the poor, it's just going straight into pockets at this point. So, and I think that is a byproduct of bad liberal policies. So I'm more conservative, that I want the liberal policies to actually be effective. That's definitely the area in which I'd say I've changed in the political stance. But again, it's interesting because at the ideological level, the big thing is that I don't identify. I'm more conservative in my identification, in the sense that I don't identify on either one strongly. I'm more conservative to say that there are times where I can be politically more conservative, and there's times where I can be more liberal politically, and it's more nuanced based on the moment in time and what we're talking about, as opposed to I don't always identify one side or the other.
And it might be like evidence based and things like that, or thoughtful, through like some thoughtfulness. Yeah.
And here's an interesting thing: is somebody can be politically conservative, but because they identify so strongly that they are not actually, they pick politics, the identity of politics, they're not actually looking at the nuance of the policy that they're talking about. They just always pick the right side.
Yeah.
Those people are incredibly liberal. They are behaving in a liberal. They're being very liberal in their behavior, because it's not actual. They're not being more conservative to find the nuance and actually have, bring in consciousness and critical thinking.
They're like, oh, it's fine.
To delineate, like, they're not willing to be more conservative in their nature in order to make a more informed choice. They're more liberal in their nature, and so they just automatically pick one side versus the other. And in that action, it doesn't really matter whether you're picking, the conservative right or the liberal left. You are behaving like a liberal.
Yeah. I've been chewing on this one since yesterday.
I have the thought every once in a while of how youth gets wasted on the young.
What? Say what?
Our youth gets wasted on the young. Being young is like the best opportunity to be conservative, to start doing learning, doing mindful work, breath work, doing work to take care of your body, to really get the most bang for your buck long term. But most people don't even start thinking about any of that until they're hitting their 30s and 40s, and at which point they've lost the benefit of all their youth.
Yes.
So
I read a book about that, where basically the focus was why your 20s are your golden ages. for everything, not just like for everything, like financial, relationship, like career growth, like everything you name it. It's like your 20s are your golden eras. And I read that when I was 31, and I was like, some of it I was like, okay, cool. Some of it I'm like, man, I'm
late at
glad I'm
31.
reading it at 31. Exactly. Yeah.
Not too late at 31.
Yeah.
Better than later.
Yeah, definitely was had a lot of conservative ideas. But for someone who is thoughtful and can register like thoughtful like insights, like there were like so many valid points that were brought up in that book, and it was. But if you want, you can like label all of them as conservative point of views.
Yeah, I didn't get the message until I was about 35, and that was when my son was born.
Mm-hmm. And
the benefit I can say is that at that when I got the message, I started working. But man, it would have been it's part of the reason why I go. Our youth is wasted, our youth is wasted on the young, is because that was my experience. Is like so much of the things that I am. Here's something I would like to tell people when I describe myself is that I spent the first third of my life without any conscious awareness of how the final third of my life was going to feel. And I'm in the middle third, and I'm trying to do something about that. Because the first third of my life, I set myself up with so many problems that I have to live with. I can't. They're unfixable things, and on levels you could say like unfixable, devastating things, like really, really tough life lessons that you wish you could get back, and you can't, and you have to live with the consequences every single day. And it's like. I'm in the middle third, and I'm doing the best I can with what I got, so that the final third of my life is at least as good as it possibly can be. But if I could have done that in the first third, it would be so much different. Yeah, it's a daily thought. That's every day I have that.
Congrats, you dropped something in our conversation here that your son graduated. That's something that we've talked about this on the podcast here, where you're like kind of something you're working through and of letting go and all that. And I feel like that's kind of like a little check mark or a checkpoint for sure of like a tangible thing that's like, oh, it happened and it's happening.
Yeah. It was pretty amazing. The final few weeks of his school, he had a senior project to turn in, to do presentation. For a senior project, he decided to, made an album, full length album. It's under Halcyon on Spotify. So made an album, full album, released it, Spotify, YouTube. I think it's on Apple Music, everywhere you can get music. Made a website, promoted it. This was all part of the project. Like he was going to do like the full thing, and then 30-minute presentation talking about his project, releasing the album on the day that he did his presentation. And he had an amazing presentation. He did a really good job. Album's pretty good. So Halcyon's his band name. It's got a 0 instead of an O at the end. So it's HALC0N. He posted his senior project on YouTube. So this full 30 minutes is on there. He's got a good stage presence. I'm really proud of him. I'm really impressed by his music. So had that. Then we had graduation. That was an amazing weekend. Family, everybody. Mom came down. It's always amazing when I can get my dad and my mom in the same space. That always feels kind of good in some weird way. And after 2 weeks after his graduation, he did a concert for his album. He got several of his guys from his class and his best friend, who he's known since they were, I guess, 5 or 6, and another friend that he met in film camp. And they had like maybe 10 rehearsals over the course of a month. And then they had a outdoor concert, and it was great. Did a great job with it. Considering that none of them are really like experienced musicians, they rocked it. They had a great show. And again, some of that is up on YouTube as well.
Nice.
From the concert. So it was, it's such an, now he's a graduate. Now he's out of school. So I have an 18-year-old adult son. Definitely a bit of a trip. I can't say, I don't know where I'm at with, it's summertime. So I suspect I really may not notice it until the beginning of the school year when he's not going to school.
Yeah.
But it's been a lot over the past few weeks. There's been a lot going on.
That sounds good. I think this is a good spot for us to call this episode. Thanks, Jesse.